Hi, we're rocking Athena and we're looking at how we may help restaurants eliminate their food waste. So what is wasted food? It can be divided into two major categories. Food loss is the bigger of the two categories, which covers any edible food that is uneaten at any stage. This can involve crops that are left in the field, and it can also involve food that is spoiled during transit, for example. We also have food waste as a second category. This specifically looks at food that is fit for consumption that is left uneaten, unused, and ultimately discarded, an example being a half-eaten plate of food. Food waste is a global problem. It costs nearly 194 billion amongst three countries when we look at the examples we looked at. These were three countries in three different continents with three different social statuses who were very, very different in how they function and their place within the world. However, we can see the impact of food waste in each of those countries is still significant. So the issue is approximately a third of the food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted, which equates to about 1.3 billion tons on an annual basis. This wasted food still uses resources which could otherwise be redirected to other places. So that's the problem. The impact is that it affects not only the environment, but there's also social and economic consequences. Wasted food accounts for an annual loss of approximately 940 billion US dollars. The food industry alone is responsible for nearly 12% of total food waste. And as a result of this crisis, the United Nations has a sustainable development goal which aims to cut food waste in half per capita at the retail and consumer level by 2030. And that's where we're coming, introducing to you Greater Green. So Greater Green is an app which is designed to tackle the problem of restaurant food waste by connecting restaurants to local feeding banks. The app is also aiding alleviate food insecurity by redirecting resources and redistributing them to those who need them more, so the hungry, the homeless, and those with limited access to food. With Greater Green, we aim to reduce restaurant food waste by redirecting it, as previously mentioned, to either for free to other organizations or at a significantly reduced pre-agreed rate. We aim to eliminate food insecurity by giving to those who may have not had access to the food, and ultimately reduce climate pressure because through the use of our apps, businesses and individuals can keep an eye on their consumption and can therefore modify their orders as necessary and ultimately reduce the impact on the environment. So why choose Greater Green? Well, Greater Green gives users control of their involvement. Ultimately, this was created with the end users in mind. So, for example, the restaurant chooses the availability of the food that they have and the pickup times that they can accommodate. The food bank, on the other hand, gets a clear visibility of the restaurants in their local area that are available, and they get to choose where they can go and collect the food from. With the end user in mind, the Greater Green app was designed with an easy-to-use interface. Our simplistic and minimalistic designs means that it's easy and doesn't need very much training for a person to be able to get to grips with the application. It's a mobile application, which means that it's quite portable and very easy and therefore useful in a busy environment. So it's designed for busy restaurants, for example, or busy shelters who don't have time to be logging into a desktop computer, for example. There's real-time GPS to allow for easy monitoring and timekeeping for both the restaurant and the driver, as well as the shelter itself. And our business management tools include user analytics, which would allow for businesses to go back and review their business use and see where they can reduce their carbon footprint or even alter their business model if necessary. So what are you waiting for? Download the Greater Green app today and join the greater force.